And then let's pop a little bit of music on. There we go. So let's shuffle towards the front edge of the chair. Let's take a few rolls through the shoulders. So as always, stop, slow down, go at your own pace today. We will do a seated warm-up and then come into standing. If you don't want to stand, then you don't have to stand. You can stay seated. I can do some adapted moves rather than the standing version. Let's go one more. And then change direction. Roll the shoulders forwards. Let's go one more here. And then bring the hands down by the sides. We're going to come into an alternating heel lift. So peeling the heel up off the floor and trying to get the weight into the ball of the foot underneath the big toe. That's it. Oh, it's gone up quite a lot. And let's go to a double heel raise. And then switch that to toe raises. So we're just lifting those toes, getting those ankles moving. And then rest that down. Let's come into some side bends. So hands by our sides, dropping a hand down by the side, and then coming through the center and to the other side. So it's just nice and soft through the shoulders, imagining the hands are heavy weights as we just lean from one side to the other. Trying to keep the hips or sit bones more or less equally weighted. So we're getting the movement from the waist and around the spine. Now, if your shoulders will allow, we'll take an opposite arm to the ceiling. So looking up towards the hand, reaching away through the fingertips, and then we go to the other side. So opposite arm to the ceiling, and let's do that one more time each side. So really try and reach away through the fingertips. Gives you that extra little bit of length down the side of the body. And then rest that down, reset those shoulders. Okay, coming into a bit of rotation for the spine. We're reaching an arm across the body. So reaching away through the fingertips here. Then imagine you're grabbing hold of a rope and drawing the elbow back and then looking back at the elbow. So we're trying to rotate around the waist. So join in with me when you can. So we're reaching across the body, rotating or twisting around the waist. Then draw the elbow back, shoulder away from the ear. So this is going to give us some spinal mobility. Open up the chest, so lengthening the chest muscles, opening out the muscles around the back of the shoulders. There's a few things going on here. And then rest that arm down. Let's go the other side. So we reach the arm across the body. That's it, through the fingertips. And imagine we're pulling on a rope, draw the elbow back. So rotating around the waist. We've got a little bit of rotation around the upper spine as well. That's it. And do one more. And then rest it down and reset the shoulders. Okay, just one last little bit of work for the shoulders before we come into a standing position. Sweeping the arms up to a Y shape. Take a bend in the elbow. Hands behind the head. Scrunch your shoulders up to your ears. And then slide the shoulder blades down the back. Release the arms and then send the palms down. That's it. Let's do a couple more like that. Breathe in and breathe out. So arms to a Y shape. Take a bend in the elbow. Scrunch up the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down, Y-shaped arms, send the palms down. One more. Breathe in and breathe out. Y-shaped arms, bend the elbows, scrunch the shoulders up, draw the shoulders down, and bring the hands down. Just a little reset with those shoulders. Shuffle towards the front edge of the chair, take the legs a little bit wider. Let's have a little pedal through those feet. We're going to make our way to standing for those of you who want to stand. Otherwise, stay seated. I will give options for a seated position. So when you're ready, find your way through to a standing position. We're going to come and stand behind your chair if you are standing. So there's a little bit of balance work here and some work for the lower leg. Okay, so we're standing behind the chair. So heel raises, we were doing that seated, and you could still do exactly the same thing seated with this one. We're parallel with our feet, so our feet are just underneath those hips. We're going to come in, so use the chair to balance if you want to. It's going to work the muscles of the lower legs, deep stabilizing muscles of the legs and core as well. So we're just rocking up onto the balls of the feet and then lowering the heels down. So we can do the same thing here seated, okay? So we're bringing those heels up. Imagine I've got a chair in front of me, so you can hold onto the chair or you can have the fingertips light. So you can just play around with using the chair for support and balance as you need to. So this is really good for strengthening the arches of the feet and strengthening the ankle joints as well. So quite important to look after our feet. We ask a lot of them. Do one more here. And then rest it down. Now let's give those legs just a little shake out. Now in this little set of work, this footwork that we're going to do, you might get a burning sensation in your calves. That's just lactic acid buildup. It just means lactic acid we have in the body all the time. It just means that it's not able to flush away as quickly as it normally does because we're making the muscles work more than they normally do. But as soon as you then give those legs a little shake out, it should just flush it away. So it won't do you any harm. Just doesn't feel very nice. So from here, we're going to take the feet into turnout. So parallel feet, then we take the feet into turnout. And we're going to do those heel raises again, trying to keep the weight and the ball of the foot underneath the big toe. So have a little go with that one. So the weight is going to want to sickle into the little toes, but try not to let it, because otherwise that gives us a rotation at the ankle, which we want to try and keep the ankle nice and steady. That's it, and we can do the same thing seated. Do one more. And then rest it down. Okay, give those legs a little shake out. I get a lactic acid build up whenever I do this, so it's not necessarily because of any weakness. Okay, so from here we're going to go into a wide stance. So now our feet are shoulder width apart. So hip width here, shoulder width apart here. So we're just a little bit further. Parallel with the feet still. And again, seated, we would be as wide as the chair. So we're going to be here. We're going to add those heel raises. So when you're ready in your own space and time, have a little go with that one. So again, we want to feel the weight underneath the big toe, the ball of the foot there. Try and control the upward phase as well as the lowering phase. We want them to be as equal as possible. So it's harder to control that lowering phase. The muscles of the legs have to work harder to bring you down slowly. Do one more. And then rest it up, give the legs a little shake out. And we're going to do the same thing, but then with our outward turned feet. So we're wide stance, then turn the feet out. If any knee issues this is niggling any knee issues, you might want to stay with parallel feet. Okay, so any knee issues, the turned out feet, see how you go. So same thing, it's going to feel a bit different again, slightly different recruitment of the muscles as we change our foot and leg position. So still with those heel raises, still keeping the weight underneath the ball of the big toe. That's it, and trying to keep the downward phase equal to our lifting phase. And let's do one more. And then bring those legs in. Give those legs a little shake out. Anyone else get any lactic acid build up in those legs? Oh, a little burning sensation. So just give the legs a little point and flex. Just get that lactic acid flushed out. Get the calves back to normal. Okay, so we're going to come into, again, a little bit of balance work, but this now is not going to work quadriceps and muscles around the hip. I'll show the seated version in a second. Just going to show you from the side here. My supporting knee is nice and soft, and I'm going to start with little taps back with my big toe. So I'm trying to keep my hips square to the front, and I'm just tapping the base of my big toe backwards. Okay, this front leg stays as still as we can make it. On the chair, we're going to tap the foot back, bring the foot back in. So just giving you a little bit of extra work for those knees. It's going to give you some quadricep work as well. Okay, so soften the knees, especially the supporting leg. We take the weight out of the leg that we're going to move. Hold the chair for balance if you need to. Again, you can take the hands away if you feel that your balance is steady. So we tap the foot back underneath that big toe. Now keep going. Same leg, repeating that tap. We're loading the muscles of the supporting leg. Muscles around the hip, quadriceps. Giving a little bit of length for those hip flexors. Do one more. And then rest it down. Give those legs a little shake out. Okay, we're going to go the other side. So soften the supporting knee. Take the weight out of the leg that we're moving. And then we add those little taps back. So sliding the leg back, trying to tap, see if you can feel underneath that big toe. So we get that flexion of those toes. That's it. Supporting leg, doing all of the work here. Do one more. And then rest it down. Okay, give those legs a little shake out. So, on this next one, you can stay with what we've just been doing, and seated, really, you're probably going to be staying with that. We're tapping back, we're bringing the foot forward. So if you're seated, you might send that leg a little bit further forward just to increase the range a little bit more. So we're tapping back underneath the big toe. Guys who are standing, I'm going to get you to slide the leg back this time, so you might want to support. Same thing with that supporting knee, but we're going to slide the toe back. You might be able to find that you can come back a little bit further. Supporting knee stays steady, but we do bend the knee a little bit if you can, if the knee will allow. And it's just going to change the work a little bit. It's going to give us a little bit more work into the hip flexors, load that leg a little bit more. So let's give that a go. Supporting knee nice and soft, holding the chair if you want to. Then slide that toe back, and then slide the toe back in again. So just go where your body is able to go. You might find you can slide the leg back a little bit further by bending that supporting knee. So it's starting to bring us into a bit more of a lunge. Do just one more. And then bring that back in. Give those legs. I know that's quite hard. On the reformer, you've got a sliding carriage. You've got one foot on the floor, and you would be sliding that leg back on the carriage. That's where that move comes from. Let's go the other side. So supporting knee nice and soft. Take the weight out of that leg, and then we slide. This floor is pretty good for it because it's quite, unless you've got shoes on with good grips, it's not quite so slidey. In your grippy socks, you can get a bit of slide. That's it. So we're just sliding that leg back, keeping the hips pointing forward. Go where your leg is able to go, your knee will allow. Do that one more time. And then rest it down. Well done, everybody. Give those legs a shake out. You'll be glad to know we're going to come and sit down now. Come and bring yourselves to a seated position, and you can tell me what band or weights that you want. I'm getting loads of purples out here. I'm anticipating. So, if I remember rightly, Christine, you'll want weights. Yeah. Okay, so just grab 2. Yeah. All right. Just watch your toes. And Tanya wants weights. Marion and Marion want weights, yeah? Try the pink band. I'll give you both. There we go. Not at the same time. Purple for you. Oh, the shoulder's not good. Oh. Bit of both. Yeah. Pink or purple? As you. It's my magician's hat. I'm going to bring out a bunch of flowers, rabbit. Go for it. There we go. This is a bit gentler. Go with that one. Go the gentle one. Yeah. I'll get your hand weights. Pink for you. This one's harder. Do you want to... Pink? Purple? That's harder. Purple? Yeah. There we go. And has everybody got what they need? So we've got 2 more. Do you want to take these just in case? And then Marion's on the hand weights. Okay. Just grab some hand weights so I can show you. There we go. Okie dokie. So we are going to come into some work with triceps. So with the band, we've got the band across our shins. trying to think of the word. That word just escaped me for a second. Round across the shins. So we're just bringing it. When you add the tension to the band, then that is going to make the muscles work. So if you just pull the band back, you'll be able to feel all the muscles switch on. Now we want to keep the knuckles in the middle of the forearm and the wrist straight. So try not to do any bendy flexiness with the wrist, because we want to strengthen the joint. We don't want to put it under tension and flexion at the same time, because that's too much. With hand weights, we're going to have the bone end facing forward, and we're going to do a similar thing. You can do this without resistance. You could do it just if the band was becoming too much, the hand weights were too much, we can do that with just our arms. You're still going to get plenty of work. Okay, we're going to do some little presses first of all. So nice and tall. This is going to give us chest work, arms and shoulders, particularly these muscles in the back of the arms, triceps here. Okay, so long presses backwards. So we send the arms back, nice straight arms, and then we release it down. You might be able to feel your tummy muscles switch on when you do that as well. Nice and tall, take a breath in. As you breathe out, send the arms back. So we can do that with the weight as well. Okay, as long as the wrists are okay with that. That's it. So just have a little go in your own space and time. Just some slow, long presses back. Nice and tall and steady through the body. That's it. Keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Do one more. And then rest it down. Okay, take a breather. Take a little turn through those shoulders. We're going to add in, this move is called the chest expander. It lengthens the chest muscles and strengthens the chest muscles. I actually think it does more work for the triceps than it does the chest. See what you think. So we're going to put the band under tension, or the weights are just going to be behind or just behind the body here. So we're just sending the arms back, whether we're holding the band or the weights. So we've got some tension here. Now stay here, keep that tension on, or the hands where they are. Look over one shoulder, keep the tension on. Back through the center, look over the other shoulder. Bring it back to the center and rest it down. Okay, now you can decide how much tension to add on. The more tension you put on, the heavier the equivalent weight would be that you're working with. So if you're a little bit of resistance, so you're not really pulling very hard, then that will mean that you're working with a lighter weight. With the hand weights, it is what it is. You know, you've got that kilogram or half kilogram in each hand. Okay, so you decide how much you want to work by how tight your band is. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders down. We're going to do the same thing again. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, we pull the band back, then look over one shoulder. Bring that back through the center. Look over the other shoulder to the center. And rest it down. Okay, reset the shoulders. Let's do the same thing again. You can make the band tighter, loosen the band off. Do whatever is appropriate for you. We're going to do two more like that. So we get the tension on the band, or send the hands back. We turn to look over the shoulder, through the center, over to the other side, to the center. Rest it down. A little roll through the shoulders one more time. So find the position. Tension on the band as much as you feel that you can work with. So you want it to be challenging, but not too much. You don't want to be shaking. Turn to look over the shoulder, through the center, over to the other side, back to the center, and then rest it down. Okay, release the band. Give the shoulders a roll forwards. And then a little roll through the wrists. And we're going to have a go with some little pulses. So the same position, but we've got those short, sharp little pulses. I think we were talking last week about fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers. So when we move that little bit more quickly, little pulses, then we get those fast twitch muscle fibers working. And it's good to train in the body our slow twitch muscle fibers, which are our workhorses, but also those fast ones. So if you need to move quickly, like you've knocked a cup of tea off the table and you've got to try and grab it, your body can move that quickly. If you never have any work on those fast twitch muscle fibers, your reaction times will be slower, yeah, because you won't be able to move quite so quickly because they just won't be there. If you don't train the muscles, they won't be there. It's called sarcopenia. They disappear, basically. Don't want that to happen. So let's bring the shoulders down, get that little bit of tension on the band, and we're going to do some little pulses. So we take a breath in to prepare. As we breathe out, we do some little pulses. little pulses. Try not to let the body move, just the arms. Little pulses, little pulses. Rest it down. There we go. Let's try it again. So let's get that tension across the band. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, we get the little pulses, little pulses, little pulses. And then rest it down. Okay, we'll give it a break there. Give the shoulders a little roll. Let's give the upper body a bit of a rest, and we're going to work into the lower body. So if you're working with the band, with the weights, we're not going to use the weights on this one. So either just keep hold of them or pop them on the floor out of the way. You can do this without the band. If you're working with the band, we're going to loop the band around 1 foot. We're going to do some leg presses into the band. So you've got your toes poking out the top. If you have not got grippy socks on, please just be super careful. I've only given you one block. Pam's only got one block. Are you all right with one? Is it all right? Okay, sorry, I've packed them all away. Right then, so with this, we're going to lift the knee and then push the heel away into the band. So lift the knee and push the heel away. So these are leg presses. If we're not working with the band, we're going to press as if we're pushing something with the heel. That's it. So the band is giving you a bit of support when you lift the knee, but then when you push against it, those quadricep muscles are working super hard. Again, you decide how much tension to have on the band. The tighter the band, the harder your leg muscles are going to be working. Shoulders down, chest open. Do one more. And then rest that leg down. Okay, we're going to go the other side. Just give the legs a little shake through. Let's go the other side. So we pop the band over the foot if you're using the band. Again, just make the arms nice and steady. Just make sure those wrists aren't doing any bendy flexy stuff. Nice straight strong wrists, elbows tucked into the body. Lift the knee and then press the heel away into the band. Little leg presses. There we go. That's it. You've got it. So if we're not using the band, we're pushing the heel away. That's it. Do one more, and then rest it down. Just take a little step through those legs. Maybe straighten alternating legs as well, just to loosen off into the backs of those legs. Okay, we're going to have a go at a row. So with a row, we're going to pop the band again, a bit like a skipping rope. You really need to be towards the front edge of the chair for this, like a skipping rope, and then straightening the legs away if you can. So we're just letting the heels rest on the floor. Okay, so we've got straight arms, straightish arms here. With the weights, we can use the weights. We can do a similar thing with the weights. We're going to row like this. So if any of you use a rowing machine or you've been rowing, similar sort of thing here that we're going to work with. So with the band, again, we've got that resistance. It's going to work the muscles through the legs. It's going to work chest, upper body really, chest, arms, shoulders. So we're just letting the heels rest, holding the band so that the thumbs are on top, a bit like you would perhaps hold a dog lead, and then drawing the elbows back into the waist, shoulders down, chest is open, and then straighten those arms. So, yes, that's it, Tanya, you've got it. So that's it. Same thing with the weights. That's it. So drawing those elbows back, keeping the wrists nice and straight and strong. Good stuff. So you can make the band tighter if you want to work harder. Now, ideally, we're going to use our out breath as we draw the elbows back. So the out breath is here, in breath as we let go. Out breath. That's it. Do 2 more. Out breath here. And 1 more, and then rest it down. Okay, pause it there. Take a little rock from side to side. Now, I'm going to make that a little bit harder. If you want to make it a bit harder, don't have to make it harder. Now, I'm sitting at the front edge of my chair. This is only if you are happy that your lower back is okay and that your lower back can take a little bit of load, because we're going to be softening the spine. So this is an upright spine. This is a C-curve. So I've gone into, so it's not a slouch, but I've rolled onto the back of the sit bones. And what that does, it tilts the pelvis up towards the rib cage and it will engage the tummy muscles. So it's just going to get the tummy muscles working with the row a little bit more. So again, to the front edge of the chair, you don't have to include that bit. You can stick with the row that we've just been doing. You can do exactly the same thing. Otherwise, we've got the band over the feet, and we're bringing those heels just out in front again. So adding, like I say, as long as you haven't got any particular issues with your lower vertebrae, if you have, definitely do not do the rolling back, just do the arms. So we take the row position, elbows back. If you want to soften the spine, then we straighten the arms, and then we sit back up again. So it's just going to give those tummy muscles that little bit more work. So let's try that again. Elbows back first of all. Soften the spine. We're rolling onto the back of the sit bones. Straighten the arms. And then we sit back up again. So that it's going back and coming back up again where those tummy muscles work. Let's have a couple more goes with that one. So elbows back. If your back is okay, we go onto the back of the sit bones. Straighten the arms. Relax those shoulders, everybody. And then sit back up again. The temptation is to hunch the shoulders up, so try and relax the shoulders. So just one more of those. Elbows back, onto the back of the sit bones. That's it. Relax those shoulders. Straighten the arms. And then we bring ourselves back up. Good. Nicely done. Okay. Bring the band away. Take a little rock from side to side. Loosen off the lower back. Loosen off those tummy muscles. Okay, a little bit of work for hip mobility now. I'm just going to pop my band out of the way. You can put it wherever you want to put it, maybe on the back of the chair or just somewhere that it's still within reach. A little bit of hip mobility. With our mat work or the reformer work, we do something called leg circles. And it's quite difficult to replicate when we're in a seated position because of this angle that we've got here. But the movement, the idea is that you're mobilizing the hip joint. We've got this ball and socket joint at the hip, which can rotate round and round. It can move side to side, backwards and forwards. So the more we mobilize the joints in all of the different ways in which they can move, the more they're going to be able to stay moving in all of those different ways. So what I'm trying to get here is some movement into, if you think about that ball and socket joint, and I think sometimes picturing what we're trying to get at will help you with the move itself. So first of all, we're sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to do some side taps with one leg. So one leg stays still. So pop that hand on the leg that's staying still because I don't want that leg to move. I really want to try and get into that ball and socket joint here. So with the leg that's moving, we're going to slide that leg out to the side. We're going to slide that leg back in again. So this one stays still. Other hand, do what you want with it. That's it. So just have a little play around with that. See how this hip feels. So we're going to get as much range of movement into the hip as we can in this seated position. And let's go one more. And then bring it back in. We're going to switch sides. So this hand, leg that's staying still, then just rest that hand and then slide the other leg away. So just feel, how does this side feel compared to the other? When you move the legs in isolation, you can start to really feel whether there's more restriction perhaps on one side than there is on the other. Maybe there's tightness, maybe it won't go as far as the other side. Let's do one more. And then rest it down. Okay, just take a little step through those feet. Okay, we're going to think about, so we had some external movement there. We're going to think about internal and external rotation of the hip joint. So by that, we're going to drop the knee into the center and then roll the knee to the outside. So if you think about that ball and socket joint, we've got this movement going on here. And this inward movement, you don't necessarily do very much. You're more likely to have outward steps when we're moving around, but you don't tend to get that inward rotation. So again, it's trying to just get some movement into that hip joint. So we want to start off with our feet just a little bit wider. Start with one leg and then just have a little play around with what the leg will do. So we're trying to get that inward rotation and then that outward rotation. So you just do what your hip will let you do. Just be careful of knees. So really rolling onto one side of the foot and then rolling onto the outside of the foot. Try and keep everything else as still as you can so that the work and movement is just going on in that ball and socket joint. So it's probably going to feel uncomfortable. That's fine, as long as it's not painful, because we don't tend to move our hips in this way. And then rest it down. Okay. Yeah. With your replaced hip, then I would very much limit just the inward rotation, focus on the outward rotation. People who've had hip replacements recently have been told that they can internally rotate. I don't know whether that's a new of because of the new hips that they're using. But in my previous training, they said don't avoid inward rotation. So I would say, unless you've been told otherwise, avoid the inward rotation. Okay, good question. So, yeah. So with the new, because with the new ball and socket joint, that inward rotation creates a little bit more stress on that joint, and I think that's probably what the issue was. But maybe the new hip joints that they're using are a bit more, malleable. So have a go, depending on what's going on with your hip. Inward rotation if it's suitable for you, and then outward rotation would be fine for everybody. That's it. So just have a little play around with that. And again, see how this side feels compared to the other side. So I can feel that this side, I can feel it on the other move we did. I've got more restriction on my left side than I have on my right side. And just to perhaps observe where it feels like that restriction is, where is it tighter? And the thing to do, if you felt that there was more restriction, you do a few more on your tight side, because that's the side that needs it. And then do one more. And then rest it down. Bring the legs back to the center, and we just go in and out with those legs. Just loosen everything off. Okay. Just do a little bit more with our hips now we've warmed them up. We're going to come into those leg presses that we were doing. We're going to do something similar, but we're going to use a frog leg position. So when we were doing that external rotation, the leg, I think, looks a bit like a frog leg. So we've rolled the foot to the outside, the knees drop to the outside. We're going to slide from that position the leg through the center onto the heel with all toes pointing up, and then draw the leg back in and drop the knee back to the outside. It's not going to feel particularly natural, the movement, but that's okay. We're working mobility and strength now, particularly around that hip complex. So decide which leg you're going to work with. Doesn't matter. Drop the knees to the outside. We just rolled onto the outside of the foot. Everything else stays nice and still and steady, upright through the body. Slide the leg forward so that the heel is on the floor and now the toes are pointing up, lengthening the hamstrings. Keep everything still. Draw the leg back in and open the knee to the outside. That's it. So keep going with that in your own space and time. It's going to give us some nice work and lengthening work through the hamstring, quadricep work, and like I say, all about those hips, strength and mobility. So to really just try and keep everything still, using the floor to slide along. And then make that the last one. Bring the leg back in, just take a little step through those feet. We'll go the other side. So drop the knee to the outside, we're on the side of the foot. And then slide the leg forward, heel point, that's it, heel in the floor, toes pointing out, draw the leg back in, knees drops to the outside. Then roll the leg through the center, that's it, toes up, heel just gently resting, draw the leg back in. That's it, keep going, just do a couple more with that one. Again, you might be able to feel the difference on the tighter side. It might feel tighter, it just might not feel as strong. It might be just feel a bit heavier to move around. Let's make this the last one. And then rest it down. Give those knees a rock from side to side. Reset the shoulders. We're going to do a little bit of upper body work, a little bit of work for our back strength as well. Shoulders, posture, opening up the chest. So we'll start with some extensions to warm up and prepare the back. Thumbs or fists or palms. So you need a bit of space behind you. So ideally you're towards the front edge of the chair. So thumbs, fists or palms to support the back. Just leaning into those hands. You might have the eye gaze forward. The eye gaze might come up. And then rest it down. So we're trying to get that little bit of a curve through the spine. Let's try that again. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, we're leaning back into the hands. Eye gaze forward or eye gaze up. And then rest it down. Let's do that one more time. Support the back, lean into the hands. And then rest it down. Okay, we're going to just release the back in the opposite direction. Hands on the thighs. Slide the hands forward. Let the spine curve forward. And then slide the hands back. Sit up nice and tall. So let's just do that a couple of times. We've got this little forward curve with the spine. And then bring the hands up. So just releasing the back. So let the hands just slide off the knees. And let's make that one more. And then bring that back to the center, reset the shoulders. Okay, so a little bit of work for shoulder mobility, shoulder strength, triceps again, but also then starting to think about our back strength. So we're going to start with one arm, and we're here in a garden fork or cactus type position. If your shoulders will allow you, we're going to start up here. So anywhere in between. All right? So I'm going to start up here. My hands facing forward. That's it. High-fiving. We're going to bring the hand down to your hip. Turn your palm over and send your arm back without letting the chest rotate. So don't turn around. Bring the hand back to your hip. Turn the palm over. We sweep the arm back to its starting position. Maybe here, maybe here. Let's do that again. Sweep the arm round. Turn the palm back. So that's it. Palm to the back of the room. Try not to lift the shoulder or rotate. Back to your hip. Turn the palm over. Rest the arm down there. Okay, we're going to do 1.5 on the other side. So we start with the arm up by our ear or here. The shoulders won't allow. Sweep the arm round. Reach away through the fingers. Turn the palm over. Send the palm back. Don't rotate or lift the shoulder. Bring the hand back down to the side. Turn the palm over. Sweep it all the way back to your starting position. And we sweep the hand down, turn the palm over, send the palm back, and then rest it down. Okay, give the shoulders roll. We're going to do that with both arms now. So we might be here, same thing, or we might be in a swimmer position, and we sweep the arms all the way to the outside. So we'll do 1.5 again. So we'll come back to your starting position, here or here, and then we sweep the arms away. Turn the palms over, send the palms back. Bring the hands back down to the hip, turn the palms over back to your starting position. That's it, let's do that again. So sweep the arms down, turn the palms over, send the palms back, then bring your hands to your sides, rest it there. Okay, we're going to do 2 more, this time adding a little extension of the spine if your back will allow you to do that. So when we come round here, as we send the palms back, we're going to add in that little extension. If your back is not going to like that, obviously don't do that, just do the focus on the arms. It's going to lengthen the chest muscles, strengthen the backs of the shoulders, and this is going to strengthen the back extensors, the muscles around the spine here, if you add that little extension. Okay, we'll do 1.5 again, like we just did. So we're starting position, here or here. Sweep the arms round. Hands by our sides, palms back. Send the palms back. Maybe we're arching the back, lifting the heart. Bring the hands back to our sides. Our back is back to our straight position. That's it. Sweep the arms back up. Let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. Sweep the hands to the side. Turn the palms back. Hands back. Curve the spine. Lift the heart. And then bring your hands to your sides, rest it there. Okay, slide the hands forward. Let's get the back moving in the opposite direction. Slide the hands over the thighs. Bring yourself back up to an upright position. Slide the hands over the thighs. Bring that back to the center. And one more time. And then rest it up. Okay, reset those shoulders. Just a little bit more for loosening off those shoulders. Hands to elbows. And then you'll send your elbows forwards. Separate the shoulder blades. And then sit up nice and tall. Let's do that again. Breathe in and breathe out. Send the elbows forward. Separate the shoulder blades. And then sit up nice and tall. Release the arms. Come into some shoulder rolls. Up and back and down. And then change direction, roll the shoulders forwards. Let the back move with that forward shoulder roll. Just getting a little bit of mobility around the spine again. And then taking an arm across the body. Just a bit of pressure onto the upper or lower arm. Shoulder drawn down. Just don't pull on the joint. And then we go the other side. So we take the arm across the body. Again, a little bit of pressure with the upper arm or lower arm. Get into the back of the shoulder and then rest it down. Little rock side to side. Loosen off the lower back. Okay, we're just going to do one more last little stretch for the muscles around the neck. If you've got problems with your neck, then you might just want to stay with the first part of the move rather than taking it a little bit more stretchy, a little bit further. So just see how your neck responds. So we're turning to look over one shoulder. Look down to the armpit. Now that might be enough, especially if you've had any neck issues. Otherwise, just let the hands rest by your sides, drop down to the sides. The hand that you're looking at, bring the fingertips just to rest on the crown of the head. Now that's going to give it a little bit more stretch down the side of the neck. Your other hand, reach your way through the fingertips to create a diagonal line as you point the fingers towards the floor. And reach your way through the ring finger, through the middle finger, through the index finger. Hopefully you can feel that stretch down the side of the neck. Gently draw the shoulders away from the ears. Now we come out of this really carefully. So still looking at your armpit, release the hands. Then look up over the shoulder and bring the head back to the center and reset the shoulders. You don't want to crick your neck coming out of that stretch. So we come out the same way we go in. So turn to look over the other shoulder. Look down to the armpit. Now you're looking at that hand. Bring the hand just to rest the fingertips on the crown of the head. A little tiny bit of pressure if it feels all right. And then the other hand, we reach away towards the floor, reaching away through those fingertips. So reach away through the middle finger, through the index finger, through the ring finger. And then again, still looking at that armpit, release the hands. Look up over the shoulder. Bring the head back to the center and reset those shoulders. So if you suffer with neck tension headaches, that is your stretch. That's the one to remember. Give those shoulders a roll. We're going to finish like we usually do with our 3 floats of the arms. So bring yourself towards the front edge of the chair. Take a breath in. As we breathe out, we float the arms up. And then bring the hands down. Breathe in and breathe out. We float the hands up. And bring the hands down. Last one. Breathe in and breathe out. Float the arms up. And bring your hands down by your sides. And we will pause there. Well done, everybody. Well done. Do ask if you have